Hey there, it's Tankerl, and this is my review of the Galaxy Note 3. Now, it's been out for a while, and I've actually been using it for over a month, but the lovely people at Samsung were kind enough to loan me one. And this is a T-Mobile version for the US, so obviously it has LTE on T-Mobile, which is pretty exciting since there's lots of LTE to be had in the San Francisco Bay Area. I have to say, I've always been a big fan of the Note. I thought right from the get-go that it was a form factor that I thought was viable, and I have to give Samsung a lot of props for rolling with it in its third generation now. I think they've really done a fantastic job with the hardware. As you know, I've never been a big fan of the design that started with the Galaxy S3. I really like the design of the Galaxy S2, this kind of more squarish design. Here's the old Note 2. This is a Verizon model, and look how dated it looks compared to the new Note 3. It looks round and clumsy and thick and just not a very good design, this kind of soapy design. So I'm glad that Samsung decided to go back to the GS2 language. And one of the other things they've done, which is really cool, is gone back to a slightly matte or soft touch finish, depending which version of the Note you have, on the back, rather than the shiny grossness that we knew on the GS3, GS4, and Note 2. Now, also what's really interesting is I'm not a big fan of skeuomorphism, as you know, but if you look really carefully right around the edges here, there's these fake leather stitches all the way around, and I don't like those, but I think they are very well done here. This actually works for this phone. So, you know, this is the back of it. I mean, the Note 3 is a known entity. Everybody's already written a lot about it. I really don't have that much to say other than it's my favorite Samsung phone right now. And it is, I really love I love the square design, as I said. I still don't like TouchWiz. I still don't really use the stylus, which is down here, and now automatically starts this cool little menu. I don't really use it that much. But I have to say, as a phone, as a high-end flagship device, this is a really nice 3 gigs of RAM, Snapdragon 800. This is a 1080 by 1920p display, 5.7 inches. Despite the fact that it's a gigantic screen, there's very little bezel. So it really just feels like you're holding screen, just like the G2 and even the Nexus 5. So kudos to Samsung for this hardware. I really think it's exciting. I love it in white. This is T-Mobile's version, as I said. What else is there to say? Just walk you through, I guess. In the front here you have the earpiece, of course, a Samsung logo, a proximity sensor, and a 2 megapixel camera. I believe it's 2. And then at the bottom you get the home key here. There is flanking it a menu button and a back button. It's really hard to see because there's too much light. Let's see. There you go. Now you see them. Menu and back. And you know, that's pretty much standard fare for Samsung. I don't like the layout. I want the back key to be on this side. Personally, I actually like the on-screen keys, the actually on the display keys myself, now that I'm used to it from the Nexus. In the back, you have the stylus silo right down here, which I've demonstrated earlier. I'll just pull it out again so you can see what it looks like. And you have Galaxy Note 3 logo, the T-Mobile logo. Different carriers will have different logos here. And the 13 megapixel autofocus camera pod with LED flash right here. And very interestingly, Samsung still does not have a phone right now in the US with optical image stabilization, other than the Galaxy S4 Zoom, obviously, but that's more camera than phone. So this is 13 megapixel autofocus without OIS, and I'm really surprised they didn't do that. I mean, I'm surprised that, you know, LG and everyone else now pretty much, other than Apple, I guess, has OIS on their high-end devices. Now for the GS4, I thought, maybe they'll keep it for the Note 3, but they didn't do it on the Note 3. So you'll have to hold very steady. This camera is okay, but I'm really not enamored with it. Like, I prefer the LG cameras or the Nokia cameras or the iPhone cameras at this time. So what else is there? Let's walk you around the sides. On the right hand side here you have a little place to put your thumbnail or your nail to prop the battery cover open. You have the power lock key. On the bottom, again, the stylus silo, mono speaker is very loud, and USB 3, notice it's a USB 3 data connection. Interesting, first phone that ever on the market with it. There's a few more devices coming out with USB 3 now, but this was the first. On the left-hand side here, you have the volume rocker. Notice also that they've exaggerated instead of like a polished, a fake aluminum, this is still plastic, it's fake, but it looks like the pages of a book. Again, skeuomorphism, not a big fan, but I guess it's well executed here. Notice the 3.5mm headphone jack and the infrared transmitter on top. You also have the secondary mic up here, and I did forget to mention there is a primary microphone for speaking down there. So that walks you around the phone. Nothing too exciting here. If you remove the battery cover, which I'm going to attempt to do live on television, you're going to get, obviously, a very, very large battery with NFC. I think it's 3,300 milliamp hours, but anyway, it's very big. And then you have micro SIM, and on top of it, micro SD. So you have micro SD expansion in addition to the built-in storage. So this is a pretty typical Samsung. Again, this very flimsy, flexible battery cover, but again, I much prefer the matte and this kind of square design that we're seeing on this phone than what Samsung's done with the GS3, GS4, and Note 2 prior. In terms of software, you're looking at the usual suspect. The S series of features of Samsung, I feel that they're bloating things up and are unnecessary. They replicate functionality that already exists in Android that I feel is well baked already. So I'm not a big fan of TouchWiz. I think it still looks ugly and cartoony. And as you can see here, you know, this thing is super fast. Again, all the Snapdragon 800 devices are just insanely good. I can't say anything bad about this phone other than the fact that I don't like the UI. And, you know, on the S features, I don't use them. But if you don't use them, it's okay experience. But anyway, Note 3, there it is. Definitely one of the best phones on the market today. If you want a large phone that maximizes screen size, has all the bells and whistles, the only thing it's missing is a Google Play edition with none of this S stuff and TouchWiz crap, and, in my opinion, optical image stabilization. And this would be the mother of all large phones right now. I believe the mother of all large phone title right now belongs to the Lumia 1520, which I'll be reviewing very soon. But anyway, this is it in a nutshell, the Galaxy Note 3 from Samsung. Let me compare it to its predecessor here, the Note 2, and you can see how ridiculous the Note 2 looks. It looks like a toy. It looks like a piece of junk in comparison. Look at this thing. If I pull them over, yeah, look at that, especially with the gigantic 4G LTE Verizon logo. This slimy, shiny back plastic. What an improvement. What an improvement. And here again, let's put them face to face. It's actually not that much thicker. It's just designed to look thinner. But, you know, this roundness doesn't really help the Note 2. And then I want to compare it to another phone, which I believe is the best phone on the market today, the mother of all smartphones today. And you know where I'm going with this. You know me well enough. This is obviously the Nexus 5. This is it. This is the reference. This is what everyone should be aspiring to do. And as you can see, this is where you see that the Note is the Note. It's a large phone. And, you know, this is the 5-inch phone, the Nexus 5. This is Super AMOLED, by the way, 1080p, 5.7 inches. And it's I'm not a big fan of Super AMOLED compared to IPS, but they keep iterating and improving the Super AMOLED experience. It's really, really impressive. And here you can see, you know, comparison of what the apps look like in the app tray. Now, let's flip them over so you can have a feel for the size difference and the way it looks. So there you go, Nexus 5, Note 3, and then of course, you know, line them up so you can have an idea of thickness. I'm just trying to line them up a bit here. There we go. So, you know, the Nexus 5 is very slim, so is the Note 3. Slimness is not really going to be a problem with these devices. So anyway, this is it. My video review of the Note 3 from Samsung. Definitely one of the best phones on the market today. Subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for more phone reviews. All right, cheers.